Hello and welcome to the program. This edition of Newsroom series covering Nigeria's Northeast. I am Bukola Koka. First, the top story. Troops of Operation Herding Kai have successfully repelled a coordinated attack by ISWAP terrorists on troops conducting stabilization operations in Mairari area of Borno State, delivering a decisive blow to the group's offensive capability in the area in the late hours of December the 12th, 2025. During the failed attack, terrorists attempted to breach the base using two vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices, VBIEDs. Both VBIEDs were promptly detected and neutralized by the dogged troops, preventing any penetration of the base. Observations from the CCTV footage confirmed that several terrorists were killed and others sustained serious injuries, with surviving elements seen evacuating their dead and wounded from the scene. According to Lieutenant Colonel Sani Una, spokesman of the Theatre Command, following the failed assault, troops of Sector 3, Operation Herding Kai, supported by the Theatre Command, their quick reaction and Group Nigeria Police crack team and the Civilian Joint Task Force conducted a thorough exploitation of the area in the early hours of December the 13th, 2025. After years of displacement, the federal and Borno state governments are set to repatriate 12,000 Nigerian refugees in Cameroon back to the country. Governor Babagana Zulum disclosed this at Minawo camp in Cameroon's far north region, where he visited the refugees displaced from Kirawa, Ngoshe, Ashigashia in Gwaza local government area of Borno state. He explained that the initiative aims to restore the dignity of the victims of insurgency, including Nigerian refugees in Cameroon, Chad and Niger republics.
I also want to extend my greetings and pleasantries to all Nigerian refugees that are living in Cameroon Republic, whether they are in the camp or they are in the host communities. I want to assure you that the government of Borno State, in partnership with the federal government of Nigeria, will do everything possible in order to ensure safe repatriation of those that have expressed their willingness to return home in a dignified manner. Inshallah, the federal government of Nigeria, under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, the Refugee Commission of Nigeria, and the Foreign Ministry of Nigeria, will come together in close consultation with the government of Cameroon under the tripartite arrangement in order to ensure speedy resumption of the repatriation exercise that has stopped some months ago.
The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tijani Alausa, has commended the Governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, for infrastructural development in the state that had suffered the devastation of the Boko Haram insurgency. Mr. Alausa made the disclosure in Maiduguri, the state capital, while cutting tape to commission 2 mega schools fully equipped with laboratories, libraries and sports facilities. The Borno state government says its investment in the education sector has reduced the number of out-of-school children from over 2 million to about 700,000.
For the rounding up of the program, to revise the...
The Minister of Education's first port of call is the Government House, where he meets with Governor Babagana Zulum and members of the State Executive Council. He then proceeds to commission 2 mega schools, Kulagumna Mega Primary School and the Government Day Secondary School Kaleri, constructed by the Governor. Both situated in the state capital have 48 and 60 classrooms respectively, with fully equipped laboratories, libraries and sports facilities.
The education sector in Borno State has recorded unprecedented progress under the leadership of Professor Babagana Umar Azule. These investments have produced a measurable impact. The number of out-of-school children from 2.2 million in 2019 has fallen to just about 700,000 in 2025.
Over 50 billion naira was spent in constructing the new schools and the rebuilding of the existing ones across the state.
This school is different from other schools. Most of those that are living in these communities are displaced communities, even if they are not displaced, they're less privileged people. And therefore, we shall introduce at least the breakfast to the people with a view to encouraging enrollment and enhancing retention. Honorable Minister, and indeed members of the delegation, Borno State government is ready to align with the policy of justice of the federal government in order to enhance education in Nigeria. The Mairari Commission Executive Secretary is here with us. Also, the Commissioner for Education has mentioned this to the hearing of the public, but I also want to re-announce this now that Borno State government has so far constructed about 21 mega high Islamic schools in Borno in all the 27 local communities.
While unveiling the two schools, the minister thanks the governor for the quality of the construction in the schools, which he says cannot easily be found in most state universities and even polytechnics.
In every sector, is it education, infrastructure, agriculture, and even human capital development. These all boil down to the leadership, the passion, the commitment, and the benevolent devotion to excellence.
The government of Borno State explains that several schools burnt down by the insurgents have been reconstructed, reducing the number of out-of-school children in the state.
And staying with education, in its bid to provide globally recognized degree certificates to its citizens at affordable tuition fees, the Gombe State government has begun admissions into Lincoln University, Kumo. According to the Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Adamu Sadiq, Lincoln University, established under public-private partnership arrangement, is the first university in Nigeria that has obtained operational license from the National Universities Commission to issue foreign certificates using Transnational Education Module, TNE, which makes the certificate globally accepted. Candidates with credits in relevant subjects can apply for any of the university's practical and project-based courses via its website and gain admission within 3 to 5 working days without a JAM certificate.
I welcome you to Lincoln University, Kumo, for official launching of the admission portal on Wednesday, the 10th December 2025. I wish to inform all esteemed prospective parents and students that we have commenced admission formally on this day, and the portal is www.lincoln.edu.ng. The portal is user-friendly, and after application by a prospective student, admission will be given to a qualified student within 5 official days, which is completely different from other universities. In other universities, you have to wait for JAM, you have to wait for other things. But however, our university is is a peculiar one, whereby you give your admission without going to JAM. So invariably, within 5 working days, after you fulfill all our criteria, we are going to give you our admission letters. This is the first and the only university on TNE. TNE means transnational education, whereby you study in Nigeria, however you get a foreign certificate. So the certificate we are going to give you is just that you have gone to Malaysia and we are giving that certificate. So this is another peculiarity. And this is the first university in Nigeria that had this module in Nigeria, whereby you study in Nigeria and get a foreign certificate. So our university is the gold standard.
Health workers in Gombe State say they have begun to receive bank alerts reflecting the 100% implementation of the Consolidated Health Salary Structure, CONHES, and the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure, CONMES, promised by Governor Inuwa Yahaya's government. Governor Yahaya had in October 2025 announced that his administration would begin the implementation of the new salary scheme in November this year.
The last 6 years of Gombe State Governor Inuwa Yahaya's tenure has been dedicated to fixing challenges inherited in the healthcare sector by declaring a state of emergency on healthcare. Within this period, the state government constructed 228 primary healthcare centers, 2 in each of the 114 political wards of the state. 3 state-of-the-art secondary hospitals equipped with cutting-edge equipment in the 3 senatorial districts. Kumo Hospital was converted to Federal Medical Center by President Bola Tinubu in October 2025. The 100% implementation of the Consolidated Health Salary Structure, CONHES, and Consolidated Medical Salary Structure, CONMES, which was deemed the missing piece in Governor Inuwa's revitalization drive, is now a reality as reflected in November salary payments, sparking renewed enthusiasm among health workers in the state.
Right now, if you go to our facilities, you see change. You see how people are committed to work. Before they are a little docile, they are a little complacent in the work. But now we told them rosters must be made. Every person must be punctual and you must stay throughout the work hours. And like I said, if you're off work hours, when there are emergencies, a health worker doesn't know a work hour is around the clock. So they are full of energy, full of excitement to ensure that they provide service because their welfare is addressed.
The November implementation of Consolidated Health Salary Structure, CONHES, which is a composite salary and allowance bundle for nurses, pharmacists, radiographers and other health workers, has raised the morale and industry of health workers.
During the recently concluded Health Summit, that is Gombe Health Summit, when the government pronounced it, that called for a greater jubilation. But the joy became more certain and complete when the salary came up, that when the government kept to his promise of November salary, he will pay with the 100%. So when the news came up, it was a groundbreaking thing.
If you went around, you will see an uninterrupted supplies of essential medicines and medical commodities in the health facility. And you know, we cannot stop hailing His Excellency, and we are all fully motivated. We are come out en masse to support this administration fully.
For the medical doctors, CONMES is described as a panacea for brain drain that had shrunk the number of doctors within the state government's employ.
You know, when you talk about brain drain, most people think doctors leaving Nigeria and traveling outside to practice. Essentially, the biggest part of brain drain is happening within states. Within a year, more than 60-something doctors left the state establishment, the service, and moved to the federal services. So this invisible movement, although has not changed the number of doctors that are working in Gombe, but it has significantly shifted the amount of doctors that are working for the state and are available for the state hospitals. We strongly believe that this approval and implementation of CONMES will reverse this trend, and it will give so many doctors who are willing to stay in the state and work, it will give them the necessary support to remain where they are and serve our people.
While expressing gratitude for the renewed commitment to delivering first-rate healthcare services across all facilities, health workers say the ultimate beneficiaries of the new salary structure are the over 4 million residents of Gombe State who access healthcare services on a daily basis.
There's more from the health sector coming up after the break as the Yobe state government flags off a mass drug campaign and polio campaign in the state capital. Stay with us for details just ahead. Welcome back. The Yobe state government has flagged off the integrated Saraman 2 azithromycin mass drug administration and polio campaign in Damaturu, the state capital. The executive secretary, Yobe State Primary Health Care Management Agency, represented by the Director, Family and Community Health, Ibrahim Maikasua, disclosed that the exercise will hold simultaneously across the 10 local government areas in the state. The executive secretary further urged all parents within the 10 local government areas to ensure they allow their wards receive the all-important immunization.
I'm here to represent the executive secretary, Dr. Wagana Kundi Machina, the executive secretary of the State Primary Health Care Board. Actually, we are here to plugging off the Saraman 2 azithromycin integrated with polio campaign in the state. And we are here to flagging off in Damaturu, in the district head palace of Brabalin in Damaturu town. On the course of our flagging up, we mobilize the entire community for coming together, encourage and mobilize all the caregivers to receive this azithromycin, because the azithromycin is a very strong antibiotic and is also help to strengthen the immune system. As such, we encourage all the parents, not only in Bulabagin society, but at the state at large, for them to receive the azithromycin, because our health workers are very much ready, and then they are almost deployed to various LGS, because we are operating this campaign only in 10 wards.
The management of the Federal University Wukari is asking government at all levels to invest heavily in the production of traditional medicines, strengthen collaboration between technology, innovative institutions, traditional health practitioners, and the private sector. This follows a study by researchers at the institution which suggests that over 80% of the African population relies on traditional medicine for their basic health needs.
The topic healing.
Scholars from ivory towers across the north, students and other members of the academia converge on one of the lecture theatres at the Federal University of Wukari, Taraba, for a presentation on the outcomes of a research on the potency of traditional medicine. The quest to integrate herbal medicine into modern healthcare is the reason for this gathering, as researchers at the Federal University Wukari move to unravel the hidden potential of herbal medicine in Nigeria.
The goal is clear to unlock the potential of medicinal plants and their molecules, and to develop effective treatment strategies that alleviate suffering and restore health. As a professor of medical biochemistry, my mission is to isolate, identify, and characterize the rich composition of medicinal plants and translate their biochemical activities into tangible health benefits.
Beyond the composition of medicinal plants, the researchers are asking government to invest in traditional medicine production, protect the biodiversity of the country, strengthen collaboration between technology and innovative institutions.
My contribution to knowledge lies in my ability to synthesize traditional wisdom with scientific rigor, creating a robust framework for herbal medicine that is molecularly present, clinically relevant, and environmentally conscious, and technologically adaptive. My research not only validates the therapeutic potential of medicinal plants, but also charts a path for their sustainability and innovative use in global health.
The research further suggests that traditional medicine is still a popular alternative, yet there is a growing concern that many of the plants used for the traditional medicine are going extinct.
there is an impending or an upcoming resistance to Western medications. Therefore, he has brought to the fore that there is a need to take a second look at the herbal or plant healing remedies.
Authorities of the Federal University Wukari say going forward, they will collaborate with government to unravel the new pathway for therapeutic intervention that can enhance the potency of herbal medications and offer hope to caregivers in the treatment of emerging diseases. And there's more on health. The Yobe State Government and Sickle Cell Eradication Initiative, with support from Hemophilia Foundation, is set to establish a hemophilia screening center at the State University Teaching Hospital in Damaturu. The Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Dr. Mohamed Lawan Gana, disclosed this when he received a team of physicians in Damaturu on a familiarization visit.
The team of physicians first meets with the Commissioner for Health to intimate him on the rising hemophilia disease that has killed many Nigerians knowingly or unknowingly due to non-availability of diagnostic centers. Ahead of its setting up, about 50 laboratory scientists and attendants, doctors, nurses are also being trained about the symptoms and diagnosis of the disease.
Hemophilia Foundation of Nigeria is a non-profit organization that advocates for persons with inherited bleeding disorders. We have been working with different states and the federal government for the past 20 years. We're trying to set up a hemophilia treatment center in Yobe State and to also work with the state in trying to identify more patients that have these conditions. So we're talking of over 2 million Nigerians who also have von Willebrand's disease. So the disease burden is about 3 million Nigerians who have this condition, but we are yet to identify even up to 1,000 in our records.
There are other inherited blood disorders like hemophilia, thalassemia and other things. So now we think that there is a lot of gap in terms of a diagnosis. We don't have much accessibility for diagnostic centers and equipment, and also patients, they are underdiagnosed with such kind of condition from the community. So as such, we try to see that we collaborate with the Yobe State government, more especially the Ministry of Health, and then the Yobe State Teaching Hospital.
The Yobe State's Commissioner for Health explains that the diagnostic center will limit the long-distance travel of patients suffering from the disease and the lack of access to services.
Establishing this center will bring diagnostics and management of hemophilia as close to the people as possible. And that additional center will go a long way in, reducing the cost of travel risks that are associated with it and so on and so forth. Access to the medications, as we just had, these medications are quite expensive.
The coming of this Hemophilia Foundation, as well as the Sickle Cell Eradication Initiative, for them to establish a center in Yobe State is definitely in recognition of the massive investment and the progress made in healthcare delivery in this state. The Yobe State University Teaching Hospital has been in the forefront and the apical referral center in this state. We have shown commitment and we have provided the necessary steps in which they can build on and develop the sickle cell and the hemophilia center in this state.
The Yobe State House of Assembly has already passed the law for the compulsory genotype screening for all intending couples. It is believed having the hemophilia screening center would also lessen burden faced by the patients.
Away from the health sector now, the Adamawa State Executive Council has approved the budget proposal of 583.384 billion naira for the 2026 fiscal year. The budget, tagged a budget of sustainable growth and renewal, has the sum of 209.640 billion naira as recurrent expenditure, representing 35.93% of the budget size, while the capital project budget has the sum of 373.690 billion naira, representing 74% of the budget. Addressing the media shortly after the council meeting, the State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. James Ilya, says the approvals are geared towards the development of the state. And the Bauchi state government is set to begin the recruitment of the first batch of 10,000 workers into the state civil service. Governor Mohammed emphasized the need for transparency, equity, inclusivity and justice in the recruitment exercise. He stated this while engaging key stakeholders during a high-level closed-door meeting as the administration moves to conclude arrangements for the first phase of the recruitment process. Governor Mohammed reveals that the head of service in the state has presented a template outlining 214 job categories with 5,669 vacancies currently available across 18 ministries, departments and agencies.
We are here to look at all the vacancies, the availability, the local governments, and of course what to do to ensure justice and equity, and to make sure that these four components of stakeholders, the party leadership at the state level, at the local government levels, the chairman of the local government, who are also represented by the commissioners representing their local governments, and chairman of the stakeholders who are going to lead, because some of them are even commissioners, so that at the end of the day nobody will go and say that he is cheated. And I must urge and plead that even as stakeholders we must be just and equitable. We must eschew personal interests, because doing that will put us in jeopardy. The fact that we are privileged to the stakeholders does not mean that we will monopolize everything. We have wards, we have people that don't have any opportunity to get in touch with me or you. These are the people we want to touch.
And that sums it up on the program. Join us again same time next week when we'll bring you different editions covering different regions of the country. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.